Hey, what's up, guys? A little bit of a post-mortem here for you. So they're going to make a couple of changes here to the squad. First things first, we talked with Joe Coriati again here. Just so you remember, we talked about him, I think, a couple of days ago. He's played poorly in the few chances he's had for us. He really has not been impressing me at all. I mean, the coach report says that he's an important player, should be a star player, but we have this problem here. Dred's playing big matches, and there's really not much that he's done that has endeared him to me at all. I know that I guess his training rating's been okay, but I know that if I release him right now, he's not going to go to another team because there's no transfer window that's open. He can't. And so what we're going to do with this player, if it allows me to, is we're just going to release him on a free transfer. That's one of the things that we can do here. We can get rid of this guy when I'm looking at him and saying, dude, this guy hasn't shown up for any of his games and hasn't been playing well, then he hasn't been playing well. Next thing we're going to do is we'll take a quick look here. So I'll probably do this here offline, but we'll take a quick look here at the player statistics from our very, very poor game. We're going to start levying out fines left and right because, again, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to have a player like, Mark Tagai, we'll take care of this guy right away, have a rating of 6.0. I mean, if he's going to do that in any match at this level, he's going to lose his job as well. Regular starter can still improve. If we look over here, though, the thing that's important, which is his form, we can see that he's been completely inconsistent. 6.3, 10.0, 6.3, 8.2, 6.0. So, I mean, I keep asking myself, how much longer am I going to stick with this guy? He's not even listed as inconsistent, but that is the definition of an inconsistent player. Unfortunately for me, and this happens from time to time, I can't really criticize his recent form because it doesn't give me the opportunity to. I also couldn't find him again for that match because I think I find him recently. So you run into problems like this from time to time where you're trying to figure out a way to deal with these players who are not playing the way that they should be playing. Now let's go look here at the tactic and see if we can figure out exactly what's happening or what the problem is. It could be there could be a possibility that we want to take away passing into space. I do like the idea of trying to play the ball out of defense and trying to pass the ball down to each of the flanks, which is where I do think that we have an advantage. Instead of hitting early crosses, we probably want to start working the ball into the box. Instead of taking shoot on site. We definitely don't want them to shoot on site anymore. And I would say that we're probably not going to do a whole bunch of change here or there. I think that that's probably what we want to do. Now, in terms of direct passing, we probably want to take this down over to standard or even say shorter passing. That's probably what we want to do. This is part of the problem here with Football Manager and the way that these tactical things are set up because there's so many different choices that you have. It's difficult to see why it is that players are playing in a way that you don't really want them to play in. Take a look at this quickly in possession. I do like the idea of counter pressing. I also like the idea of countering when the opportunities arise. So I think I'm going to keep that on. I've talked about this before. We're going to continue distributing here to the players in the back instead of trying to just lump the ball over everybody's head. Continue to take short kicks as much as possible instead of throwing it long, which is something that is really, really worrisome whenever this happens. And we do have this low block set on, which was put up because of a recommendation from our past couple of matches. I suppose we'll keep that going. We'll see what we can do, but I suppose that we'll do this. We'll probably go ahead and trigger the press much more often and try our hardest to put some pressure on the other team and see what we can do. We'll take another look here too at the data hub and see if there's anything else we can come up with here and see what's happening. So let's see here. Yeah, we had a really poor match this last time around. I mean, we barely had any momentum in the match, didn't really do much. We couldn't complete any passes. XG performance was basically non-existent. And we took a whole bunch of long-range shot attempts, which is the opposite of what we want to do. We want to try to work the ball in as much as we can. When we look at this, we can see that we keep giving up goals close to the penalty spot. There is this goal-scoring spell where it says that we don't score a lot if we have possession for a very, very short amount of time. And that tells me that we might actually want to take the counter press off. In fact, that might be something interesting to do, not the counter press, but the counter play off. And instead of doing one or the other, just sort of allow the players to do what comes naturally to them. We'll see what sort of effect that has. Sort of see what's going on there. I don't know. Let me know if you have any sort of recommendations as far as that's concerned. Other than that, there's a lot of things that we're doing that are pretty good. This is, again, going back to the question of, is the problem that we're running into actually a tactical problem, or does this problem have to do with the players that we have? Going back to what our last match looked like, I think that the problem there was almost certainly the players that we have. So we'll see what we have to do. Right after this, I'm going to spend a little bit of time going through, like I said, and taking care of some of these players. And I think some of them will end up in the same place that Joe Coriati found himself, which is no longer on the team because they don't have the ability that we need. So there you have it. Love to hear what your feedback is like, and we'll see what happens after this. Bye-bye.